Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the mop here on a Monday morning. Rain is coming down. It is going to be a wet day here in southwest Wisconsin. So, had a great weekend. Took the UTV out on the cheese trails. Very dusty. Wish I was riding today down there. The rain would not hurt you or affect you, and the dust definitely would. But had a great day, and took Dad and Audrey out for a ride, and it was fun. So, welcome to the mop, and I tell you what, who's responsible? Saw sad news out of northern Minnesota that 2 young girls have taken their lives by suicide because of bullies, because of not fitting in, whatever it may be. And when you see the pictures of these girls, you go, how can this be at 13 years old? How can they feel that they are not fitting in? How can they feel that there's nothing left to do in this world at 13? Must be a sad affair. I remember feeling different things at 13 of where life could have went, but I just never either had the gumption to do it or the guts to do it, I guess, or whatever it meant, because I knew if you failed at it, there'd be other things that would go wrong as well. So my question is if you see true hard evidence that these kids were being bullied to the point of being told to go kill themselves, whatever it may be, who is responsible? Now, this is where normally I'll hear the response from people of, Chris, it's just life, bullies and people that pick on other people, and you just got to toughen up and you got to grow up or defend yourself. And these 2 girls were 13, and I bet they don't weigh 100 pounds according to their pictures, the way they look. They're very small little girls. And there's different ways to now bully people versus the ways that we had it going on in the 1980s, which, by the way, suicide rates among teens started spiking in the 1970s, really hit an incline in the 80s, but at 2007, it finally broke the other way. And now we're back going up again in teen suicide rates. And I think part of it is cell phones, the internet, AI, whatever you want to do with it, with what can be done to make people get to the point that they say, I'm done. I don't want to go on any further. I've seen the story of a few people that I've become recently friends with, of where they tried. Thank God they did not succeed, because they have a lot to offer. They have a lot to offer this world yet, as far as input, as far as help. I find it ironic if you're the ones that are going to tell me that's just growing up in life, I'm going to take it you were the bully. I'm going to take it that you were the one that bullied people. That you were the one that probably de-pants kids in high school, probably knocked their books out of their hands, probably did all the name calling. Back when we were in school, you only passed notes, and I received a few death threats in school because I wasn't in the upper echelon of coolness. I was actually quite a geek. I loved to bowl. That was my one getaway from everybody. Yes, I played high school sports. Yes, I sat on the bench, especially in basketball, pretty much the whole season. Got in once in a while, like anybody else. There was a few of us that sat on the bench. But because you didn't get along or you were different, you were an easy target. Mind you, I was not 6'5" in high school. When I graduated, I was, I think, 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there. 6'1", I think. But I was what a weight I am, I was probably 2 1/4 at that time. But I had not developed. I was one of the younger ones in my class. I didn't turn 18 till I was already graduated by the time I turned 18. I grew 3 inches. Well, no, I grew, 4 inches, I think, over that summer between the time I went to college. So it was between June and September or August. I grew 4 inches. And I was doing those things. But if you're telling me, like I said, if you're the one that's going to comment on here that, well, they just need to, stand up for themselves, or that's just how life is. There's always going to be bullies. I get it. There is going to always be bullies. We're seeing it now. We're seeing it, presidents. We're seeing people that run this country that are bullies. But to see young girls at the age of 13 give up and decide life is over. Every town has had it. Every town has had suicides at ages where you go, wow, didn't see that coming. And why is it that because people don't talk about it? We're all asked when we go to a doctor, when we go for our annual checkups, have you ever thought about how many times have you honestly answered that question to your doctor? And why is it? Because we don't want to go through the rigmarole of having to explain why. Why did we have those feelings? I've had those feelings before. Not now. But back when I did, doctors would ask, do you have ever hurt in your... Well, because if you answer that question, you don't know what the next steps are. We treat those kind of steps like, oh gosh, that's terrible. You should never have... Yeah, I shouldn't have to go through some of the things I've gone through either because of people's behavior. Because of people wanting to be the bully or wanting to feel proud of themselves for being the bully. And to tell me that is normal, that's the problem I have, is that's not normal. It's not normal behavior that people should be bullies. They should not feel like they have to. So these young girls, if there's proof that they were bullied and that they were actually pushed to this point, to the brink, I think there's somebody that should be held accountable. The kid that bullied, but then at 13, there are a thing called parents. There is a thing called the caretaker. And that life should be looked at as well. Are they being treated that way at home? Are they being treated that way in society to where they now have to bully somebody to feel better? What is the answer? What I know is not what I want to talk about as an answer is the young girls that took their life. That's their answer, and it's a sad state of affairs that's the answer they came to. This country needs to be more welcoming, more understanding. The other area in life that is getting more suicide added to it all the time is the LGBTQ community. And why is that? Well, look at our response to the LGBTQ. Look at what that rainbow flag does to people and their attitudes towards them. That flag pisses a lot of people off. That whole lifestyle, because a lot of people don't understand it. I don't understand it because I'm not in that community. I have a daughter that I love immensely that's part of that community. But here's the problem I have. Is the Christians that are saying, well, they're going straight to hell, and that's just how it's going to be. Well, how do you know? You're not the judge or the jury. You are not. Trust me, you've probably done enough in your life that you're probably going there too. If you're the one that's saying, well, oh my God, how does that work? Well, I'll tell you. When your daughter finally admits to you that that's the thing, not a problem. I shouldn't say that. She's just why she's where she is in life. If you're not the type of person that's going to hug her and say, I love you no matter what, and be happy for her to be happy. See, we all say that. All we want is our kids to be happy. If you're not ready for that, you're not ready for your kid to be happy. And then you're lying to people that you're like, oh, all I want is my son to be happy or my daughter to be happy. I'll tell you, you're full of shit. Because you're going to go, oh, you're not welcome in my... And I've seen it where kids come out of the closet and the family absolutely loses it. And they've pushed the kids away. They've done everything else. And then they bring in the good old Lord. Oh, Jesus, what, Chris, you got to talk to your kid. No, I don't. My daughter is extremely happy. My daughter is living a life that most people are jealous of because she has a partner that they both love and care for, and they're okay in life. So I don't have to. I don't have to try to convert her. Well, that's just not right. What's not right is you telling me that I have to. Because then you're okay probably when you look at your daughter and she gets smacked around a little bit or gets mistreated. See, that's why I struggle with women that follow MAGA right now, that are following Mr. Trump. How the hell are you doing that as a female? What he just paid out for assault or whatever you want to call it, or his attitude towards women, or J.D. Vance's attitude towards women. How are you, as females, okay with supporting that? It's kind of like when you're asking me how I'm okay supporting my daughter. Well, guess what? I love my daughter immensely, and I love everything about her because she chose a partner that is great to her, values her, respects her. So I'm supposed to just ignore all that and make her life miserable by being a dad that doesn't support her? That's the problem that you have that's telling me that I need to change my daughter. I'm not going to. Most people that are sometimes in marriages are extremely unhappy and extremely living life miserably because, married forever and ever until death do us part. So you're going to stay in a relationship that's abusive maybe, or where the other person's cheating or whatever, because the good Lord told you to do that? See, that's where I'm not the one to judge. I'm not going to judge you for what you are or who you are. What I will do is talk to you about your choices as far as asking why. I want to understand, like I said, I want to understand how females are following the president right now and saying, oh gosh, he's such a great thing. And then, by the way, because I'm saying that, people already say, oh, he's a liberal. No, I'm not. I vote both sides of the aisle. I have and always will for the best choice. Tony Kurtz, Republican here in Wisconsin, would have my vote for anything he wants to run for. He's a Republican, I get it. Yep. But I've also seen his actions where he goes out to small businesses, cares for people, sat down with us for my Alzheimer's. So, yep. Sarah Kieski has my vote, and she's a Democrat. So I can vote for both sides. It comes down to ethics, morals, and how you treat someone. So the next time you want to bully somebody, or you want to be the main cheat, whatever it may be, and then also not take care of your kids at home. If you see your kids at home and they're bullying somebody, do you just sit back and watch? Or were you that kid at their age and you're going, I'm so proud, so happy, so proud of my kid for being a big bully. And then you hear about a kid that killed herself because of what maybe your kid did. Do you go, well, she just wasn't tough enough. She just wasn't ready to handle that. Or do you feel really like, holy shit, that family just lost such a young blessing, such a young girl with so much promise? What happened? Why? And try to get to understanding what would cause somebody to do that. To be at 13. My mom lost a friend in high school that hung herself in high school back in the 50s. See, it's been going on. I know that. I know it's been going on forever. I had a friend that our family had a friend that tried to do that, and he survived. And thank God he did. Thank God he did. Because he's a hell of a man, has changed his life immensely, and is still a hell of a man. Yeah, he went through a rough patch, but I'm glad it didn't end. I'm glad he is here. Because there's a story. Like I said, I've gotten to become or know someone else that has tried numerous times, went through a hell and high water, and you would never know it because of her parents. But she is awesome. I've seen her writing. I've seen what she talks about. I've seen how she portrays things. I wish I could be as eloquent as what she does. It's pretty damn cool, and I can't imagine the struggles she went through. There were many times I thought about giving up when this fricker wasn't working. I'm like, why are you putting me through this? Why am I going through this? Why did I go through tearing out my cornea in my one eye with super glue? Why did I have a grand mal seizure? Why do I have Lyme's disease? All the answers whys turn into maybe I can help somebody else. Not, hey, by the way, how dare you? How dare you do those things? Because, oh my God, Jesus is not going to like it. Whatever happens between you and Jesus is between you and Jesus. I'm not judging you. I refuse to judge you until you affect me. And then that's not judging. That's just me whether I want to deal with it or I don't want to deal with it. Do I have the energy to deal with it? Or are you sucking the energy out of me to deal with it? I'm only going to put in as much energy in my relationship as the other person returns. That's how it works. Kind of like a flashlight. It'll be super bright as long as the batteries are helping each other. But as soon as one doesn't do the other, then it becomes useless. That's kind of how you have to look at friendships. Are they there to put in the energy and support you? Or are they there to suck your energy to make themselves better and you feel horrible? So to my condolences to the families in Minnesota that lost 2 young girls that I just can't imagine. I can't imagine one of my kids, or finding one of my kids, or having somebody tell me about one of my kids that decided it was just too much to bear and not come to me or anybody else for help. So, you have a choice today. That's where I'm coming from. Who's responsible and who can help to make somebody's day better? So that's why I end every one of these mops. And by the way, any other of my videos you can see on YouTube. I've got 410 now on YouTube. You can become responsible and help somebody make it through. And if you've been one of these people that have tried to end your life and you've survived, maybe your story will resonate with somebody. Maybe your story will turn and save one. If we save one, that's a huge win. So stay out there, stay bright, keep sharing, keep talking about, keep helping people more and more. And take time to bless somebody. Have a great day today. The water's coming, and rain is good here. It's been dry and I'm hoping some of this goes up in Minnesota and Canada. I hope they got some rain. I didn't see the weather up there. But have a great day, everybody. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with another edition of The Mop.